Hey everyone, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm Sunny, and today we're going to have a look at the astrological chart of Alex Jones. Everybody cool? Specifically, now we're not going to look at any negative stuff today, well we might, but specifically I want to show you guys signs that someone might go bankrupt in their lifetime. And so in addition to that, you know, if you guys have any of these kind of signs in your astrological chart, or, you know, you ask me to look at a chart and you see it in a potential boyfriend's chart, you'll know to stay away from them. Okay, this is the deal, okay? All right, there you guys go. So that's my astrological community service for the week. Here we go, looking at Alex Jones's chart. Okay, hope everybody's cool. So Alex Jones is... I have him as February 11th, 1974. This is the InfoWars guy, right? So we don't have his birth time, so I set... there are different ways to do it. These days, because I'm doing it on YouTube, if I don't have someone's birth time, I set his birth time pretty close to sunrise so that it's easier for you guys to see some of the planet-to-planet aspects that I pull out here for you. Otherwise, you're not going to, you know, for the regular person, you're not necessarily... It's easier for you guys to see. All right, so there we go. There we go. Anyways, there you go. One of the questions I'm asked all the time is, can you read someone's their birth chart, their natal chart? Can you give an astrological reading without the birth time? And the answer is yeah, absolutely. Birth time tells you certain things, but there are other things you're going to find out that you should just look at the chart and you should know without a birth time. And without a birth time, it's very clear that Alex Jones is going to lose a lot of money. So at some time in his life, he's going to work very hard for money. He's a very hard worker. And at other times, he's going to lose it all. Woo! And so just watch out, guys. I just want to remind you guys, sometimes it's in your chart that it's going to happen. And I'll show you in a second here. And sometimes it's by transit. Like it's just that time of life where bad things seem to happen to you in certain areas. And remember that oftentimes things that happen, like really, really good things that happen to people, if that's in the astrological chart, like if it's destined for you to have something really good happen in a part of your chart, it's also destined for that part of your chart to be tested at certain times. And sometimes you pass that test, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes when you don't pass that test, things get taken away from you. Like your girlfriend, your wife, your kids, your car, like a car accident. Or sometimes your job gets taken away from you. You get kicked out of school, or your money gets taken away from you. You know, your friends get taken away from you, or your home gets taken away from you. You know, so heads up on all of that. Does it necessarily mean all these negative things are going to happen to you when this occurs astrologically? No, not at all. Not at all. I just said it's going to be tested. I didn't say you're going to lose everything. But if you fail the test, you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And this cat was pretty big. And he's falling pretty hard right now. Now, in Alex Jones's chart, let's just circle around and I'll show you what's going on in his chart. Okay, that's enough astrological blah, blah. If anyone wants a personal reading, hit the PayPal link in the description box below. In addition to that, this is a psychic channel. At nighttime, we play a psychic guessing the tarot cards game. It's a lot of fun. And I do the horoscopes often live for you guys. All right, here we go. And if you have any questions, leave in the comment section. So Alex Jones, let's check this out. My microphone's over here. My computer's over here. All right, so here we go. So he's in Aquarius. Wow, he's in Aquarius. Oh, that's wonderful, Sunny. Great. Okay, so he's in Aquarius, but his Jupiter is conjunct his sun. This is a guy who is destined to be larger than life. In addition to that, okay, so, you know, he could easily gain weight, right? His Jupiter's in front of his sun like this, right? First house of his sun. So he could easily gain weight. He's a natural leader. But here's something, and you know, he's in Aquarius, so he's very logical kind of guy. He likes to think things through. You know, the moon is making a very nice aspect to his sun. So he really, and his moon is in Libra. So, like, he really likes to bond with people. He's very much wants to play devil's advocate in this lifetime. Like, if he wasn't this InfoWars guy, he could have been He could have been like a bit of a social justice warrior, or he could have been I think he could have been a pretty good lawyer, actually, astrologically anyways. It's not where he makes his money. He makes his money in business, and he works really hard to make his money like that. Makes his money through groups of people. The North Node is way up here. His North Node is way up here. That's indicating he's going to be very successful and very popular with large groups of people, which he very clearly is. It's kind of textbook. What else is going on here? I kind of set myself off on a little tangent there. Let's take another quick look. Without making this the longest video in the world, let's just take a little look here, and we'll see what's going on. So he is larger than life. Something you may not know is that Jupiter also rules spirituality. So we went into this, his moon is in Libra, so that's a type of guy who plays devil's advocate. It does make a harmonious aspect to the sun. So he really believes in this reporting kind of situation. He really believes in showing the other side. Like, this is the way he is. In addition to that, Saturn kind of hooks into the thing, this little action as well. And it's actually quite harmonious there. It's like, it's a loose, grand air trine. So this is a dude who is like, he's into his communication. Like, this is a mass communication specialist, and I would expect, then this is it. That's it. So there you go. So this is Alex Jones, communication specialist. So if you want to be very successful in a social media kind of way, or if you wanted to be successful on TV, or you wanted to have your own show that was super successful, then you're going to want something similar as this in your chart. You're going to want, so this creates a lot of flow of information, just to let you guys know. And he's into it, right? His moon is here. He's into it. And it's his south node. So although, and it's his, okay, so you guys ready? And Jupiter is here. So he's larger than life. And Mercury is really close to his sun here. So he probably spends a lot of time thinking about himself and how he looks and blah, 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 blah. But none of that's going to indicate a guy losing any money. Or that doesn't have anything to do with his money per se. It does have a lot to do with his success, but we know a lot of famous people who don't have any money. And we know a lot of people who have a lot of money who aren't famous at all. So here we go. What else is going on in this chart? So let's get to the money part of things. Oh, let's go around a little bit more. We'll see what happens and see if the astrology shows up anything that's going on. So he's larger than life. He has to watch his weight. He thinks about himself all the time. Whatever. He puts himself first. Then we're looking down here. He might have had problems with his brothers and sisters. There's a possibility. I'm just going to speed through this, guys, because I want to get to the money thing for you guys, because a lot of you have this in your chart. So I'll show you. And so, so there might have been problem with his brothers and sisters. There's a communication problem situation there. Like maybe he doesn't talk to them, or people don't know about them. I don't know if he has any. Over here, Mars in the third, Mars down in Taurus for this guy who has his sun in Aquarius. There's a strong possibility that he puts a lot of energy into grounding. He probably had problems he might have had problems at home growing up. Maybe his parents are separated. Maybe he was adopted, or his parents were very, like a lot of energy at home. Maybe he wanted to run away from home at some point, or, maybe he was around a lot of violence at the house growing up. Like maybe a lot of energy, a lot of people over at the house. Maybe there's violence, or the house was broken up, or his home was broken, or, I don't know that one of his parents died, but maybe his parents were divorced. Anyways, whatever. Over here, this indicates he's going to have problems with children, right? Like either he's not going to have kids, or maybe there's going to be some kind of miscarriage or accidental pregnancy in his life, or his kids are going to be tormented. They're going to be a source of torment for him throughout his lifetime. Not like really like torment. Like, I mean, like maybe one of his kids is sick, So if he either, maybe there's an abortion or a miscarriage, or somehow his children are going to be taken away from him. You know how I just said earlier, there are parts of your chart where things are going to be taken away from you? This chart says his children are going to be taken away from him. Whatever, again, we don't have his birth time. If we had his birth time, I could just as easily be a little bit more specific and say maybe his money's going to be taken away from him. But let us not guess or speculate on stuff that we don't, okay? So, that's not the point. The point of this right here is he's going to have problems with kids. All right, next. And problems in his dating life, whatever. Way over here, woo! So this is shared resources, guys. Oh, no, it's not. Shared resources is... Actually, his chart lines up a little on the sketchy side. Again, I don't have his birth time, so it's a little bit on the sketch side. So 22 degrees, it's kind of going to put 22 degrees up here, sort of, guys. Here's kind of the cutoff point. All right, that's probably where it should be. So for shared resources, for other people's money, for investments, for investments in other people's money, shared resources, investments, other people's money. But there is a possibility, depending on, like if you're doing a whole house version of this chart, no, forget it. Just forget it. Let's keep going. So over here, I'm going to consider that the 9th house. And I'm going to say there's definitely a problem in spirituality, definitely a problem at a distance, definitely a problem with higher learning, definitely a problem with philosophy. It's going to be hot and cold. Again, it's the moon, times of being very popular, times of being very infamous. So watch out for it. Now, if this wasn't, right, if this arcs around just a little different, a couple of different hours, there's a possibility that this is going to lead to a lot of problems in his lifetime. If this is in this part of your chart, this could lead to a problem with shared resources. It could lead to someone trying to steal your inheritance in your chart. I don't know if any of that's happening to him. It can mean, it's money leaving your chart, right? And so it's usually money from like this area here, which could indicate a legal battle, or it can indicate an inheritance. It's money that people give to you to do stuff, or money that you're doing with other people. It's shared resources. But neither here nor there. It's really not the point. Here's the point here. Congratulations. Oh, wow. 12-minute video. Oh, wow. This is so boring. I can't believe you guys watch this stuff. Okay, here we go. Just turn into the live stream when I just rant about astrology. I just rant about it and hate on people. So here you go. If you made it this far, congratulations. This is the thing that you want to watch in your chart. In spite of everything, okay, guys, in spite of all of these little red lines, in spite of all of this, like, oh, wow, Saturn is doing a thing, or this is kind of close, or hey, Sonny, what about this? What about this? Or you want to do some kind of vibrational astrology thing, or you want to do some kind of Hellenistic, oh, this vertex is making a thing that, like, whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you something really simple. If your Venus is retrograde, you're hooped, man. Seriously, I'm talking left-handed, nothing but no net. So you're hooped. It's that simple. It's that simple. It really is. Mercury retrograde in a chart is communication problems. So why wouldn't you think that Venus retrograde is going to cause you love and money problems in your lifetime? Like, why wouldn't you think that? And so this guy is born under a Venus retrograde. The problem with Venus retrograde, now it doesn't mean you're definitely going to lose all your money at some point in time. It doesn't definitely mean you're going to get divorced. It doesn't definitely mean someone's going to cheat on you, or your partner is going to die, or someone's going to rob you, or you're just going to throw your money away, or you're not going to get paid, or you're never going to find love. It definitely doesn't mean any of that. While at the same time, there's a potential for all of it and even more, depending on your chart, what's going on in your chart, and what's happening. Now, if we look at other, certain types of astrology will add this, his Sun and his Jupiter, into the Venus, right? That's going to super amplify his money and his popularity. Like, seriously, they might fold the moon in. They'll definitely fold the nodes in, and nothing good ever happens with the nodes. This chart, and, so some of the sunny side astrology, I have a bunch of midpoints that this activates as well. So at some point in his life, this is going to get intense, like really intense. And for everybody, if everyone has like I said earlier, if everyone has this retrograde Venus in their chart, doesn't mean that everybody's going to have problems with love and money. You tell me, leave it in the comments section. If you have Venus retrograde, how's your love life? Oh, Sonny, we've been, me and my boyfriend been together for 25 years, no cheating, no nothing, no, we got 2-3 kids. All right, yeah, well, okay, well, did you get married in that 25 years? No, Sonny, why you gotta be so judgmental? Okay, like whatever, man. Okay, fine. You know, oh, Sonny, I do like it. Okay, whatever. Just leave it in the comment section. Tell me how you're doing. So, if you have a Venus retrograde in your chart, it doesn't mean you're not going to have any money. This guy had a lot of money. If you have a Venus retrograde chart in your chart, doesn't mean you're not going to find love. You know, love is everywhere, and I'll show you how to find it if you really want to know. But it does mean that there is going to be some complication with love or money. We don't have his birth time, so I'm trying to explain to you guys. Without his birth time, we don't know where in the chart it's going to be. But I do know that love and money in his chart, and Venus is in Capricorn, right? Like seriously, seriously. All right, so like, anyways, and the moon is in Libra. Like seriously, you're gonna flip flop too. Anyways, this is an argumentative guy. He's devil's advocate. He is who he is. You know, like he is a reporter. But he's also a bullshitter. Like this is clearly a chart of a bullshitter, very clearly. And so, you know, just got to watch out for it, you know? And so, whether he wants to be or not, there is a problem with his communication. I said brothers or sisters, but it's easily some of the things he said can cause problems for himself and other people. So, easily, and he's probably a bad driver as well. I know he might be a really good driver, right? He really is good at this the guy was really successful. And so I'm not going to knock that, or I wouldn't take that away from him. So, and because he has this a natural ability to be successful in a certain area, you got to kind of always bet on the guy to be successful, regardless of what but at the same time, the biggest takeaway here is, it's not, you got to bet on a guy who always wins or who wins often to keep winning. You got to bet on it. But at the same time, when a guy swings hard, he strikes out big. And so that's something you got to watch out. Okay, now here we go. You guys are, for those who know or don't, I don't know what you guys, like for the Sunnysiders here, we all know that when we look at his chart now, just a quick transit of his chart, you're going to see that the Venus is going to be impacted. It's going to be obvious. But I'll show you for those who don't know. So this is a transit chart for around now. It's not really the big, like to go bankrupt, guys. It's not like, oh no, this one thing happened. I lost $1 billion. No, it doesn't work like that. Like it might to some people, but like you saw how much energy hooked into his Venus, right? Like you saw it. Like I'll do it again. So the sun and the moon, Venus, a little bit of Lilith, but like let's not overly stress it out. We have this midpoint here, Jupiter, Uranus midpoint. That's a sunny side kind of thing. The North Node right there. We have this little conjunction here hooks in together, right? That 23 to 27 creates a little astrological energy pocket that goes like this. And then 25 down here, I guess Saturn, but Saturn's a little on the 3 degrees. 3 degrees is part of the orb cycle here. And then over here, 21 is a little far, right? 4 degrees with 3 is closest. And then we're, so there we go. So all of that folds, like that's a lot of energy. I'll just draw the arrows for you again. That's a lot of energy flowing into this situation. And if I drew it again, I would draw like this, and it's like this, and I'd be like, these are the energy pockets of the chart. And whenever something on the outside flows into one of these energy pockets, then this part of all of this in his chart gets activated. Now, not everybody has all of that, going on in their chart for that one particular point. It's an intensity point, right? And so anyways, that's how I would do it. So then we look around on the outside, and sure enough, Venus is cruising in, but Venus cruises in every year. So whatever, right? So but we have Pluto, which just changed direction. So whenever a slow moving outer planet changes direction, it's going to have a major impact on the world, right? Impact on the weather, on the world. And, you know, if it interacts with your chart, it doesn't always interact with your chart, right? But if it interacts with your chart, it, you know, can have an effect. Anyways, there's Pluto peeking in. Saturn is always obviously saying hello. You know, you might want to pay attention to some of these midpoints, but let's not get crazy here. Let's just, it is what it is. And then anything over here? Yeah, the big one, the big one. Mars is retrograde in Gemini, right? Mars is retrograde in Gemini, and that's stimulating everything. And so there you go. So when you look at it like this, I know, seriously, you guys are like, Sonny, look at it like this. This is astrology. What the hell am I looking at? That's a good point. When you look at it like this, it's pretty easy. It's like, what do you like? Look like I vomit a blueberry milkshake on the screen. So, anyways, this is the, I'm going to clean this up in a sec, and I'm going to draw it in I'm going to highlight it in a way that's very easy for you guys to see and something you should be on guard for. This is not the easiest one to see. When it's usually, and I'll make a video of it, signs of bankruptcy in an astrological chart. All of this stuff that I'm doing these days, it's either fun tarot readings about law and crime stuff, or it's, you know, fun astrology readings and videos that are going to give you the answers for what's on the quizzes in my class. And the questions are on my website, thesunnyside.net. The exam's been posted there for a long time now. The level 1 exam's been posted, but I'm going to make some videos for you guys on the answers. So, because whatever. And so that's the deal. So usually it's something like Saturn interrupting your Venus, which leads towards a bankruptcy situation. Like that's something that you look for, like a timing thing. But for something full scale, you're going to want a lot more involved. And in this guy's chart, there's a lot more involved. But Saturn isn't the only thing that we look for. You know, it's not, I don't know if that's obvious for you guys, but it's, so, but you know, we're not just looking for like Saturn like squaring Venus or Saturn opposite Venus or something. There's more to it than that. In this particular situation, this guy, so when I heard about what was going on, oh, he declared bankruptcy, I was like, oh man, yeah, well, he's probably got his Venus is messed up. Something. And I'm like, oh yeah, look, his Venus is messed up. I wonder what's going on. And we're like, oh, look, Capricorn is, you know, was retrograde, putting pressure on his Venus. There you go. There you go. It's like, it's that simple. So this is a time. How often does this happen? Do you guys want to know how often this happens? Every 250 years. So it's not the most common thing in the world. So there you go. So there you go. You know, like what else is going on? Like that's a big deal. But it's not that alone. It's that entering into this kind of energy field that he has, which is going to cause his money to shake a little bit. It could also lead to a massive divorce here. All right. So what else is going on? At the same time, Venus, which as I just said, really is cute all by itself. And it does lead to good days during the year, and you might meet somebody on a certain situation. But at the same time, transiting Venus, yeah, sometimes it's an indicator. Yeah, sometimes, you know, transiting Venus. Anyways, so Venus lends its action to the mix, right, at 27 degrees. And then we have Mars, which is retrograde in Gemini. Mars is only at 16 degrees, but it's lending its energy to the scene as well, right? Because this is part of this energy trine that he has. And that's the deal, guys. Without getting too deep of anything, like this is pretty textbook. Like you can see his Venus right here. Like Pluto's at 26 degrees. Like this is it. this is the time. You know, this is just it. And he's not out of it. Like there's a thing. Saturn is cruising along. Like, good luck, man. Absolutely good luck. He's not going to be in it for the rest of his life. But he's definitely going to be in it for the rest of the day. So he's definitely going through it a little bit. Well, he's had a bit of a rough patch for the last little while, and I don't necessarily see it getting that better for him. Actually, I think next year, when the South Node reaches 25 degrees Libra, I think he's going to have a major health problem. major health problem. Like he might have a kidney problem. He might have a kidney problem, some diabetes situation, and he might have a stroke when the South Node is 25 degrees Libra. So that's like, what, like next summer? So that's the deal. So good luck, man. I wish everyone the absolute best. But this guy had a rough situation. So anyways, whatever. So if you have a retrograde Venus in your chart, be careful. And that's the deal. Oh man, what a long-winded video. Oh my goodness. If you made it to this far in the chart, I give you guys a thumbs up. It's holy goodness. All of that to talk about a retrograde Venus. What. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I wish everybody the best. From the sunnyside.net, I'm Sunny. Wishing everyone the absolute best of a beautiful day. I'll try and keep the next video down to like 5 minutes. So like, that's it. Wishing everyone the best, and I'll see you guys soon.